Every so often, Zoom will issue a firmware update for the Zoom H1. And in this video, I'm going to show you how we can download that and install it onto our Zoom H1. The first thing to do is turn on your Zoom H1, and momentarily 2 numbers will appear on the screen. Up towards the top there, you'll see a number with a slash and then 2 other numbers. Now in our case, we have 2.10. That is the latest as of this video. So we don't need to update, but we'll go ahead and go through the steps anyway. Once you have confirmed that you do need to update your firmware, head over to the Zoom website, download the firmware file, unzip it if necessary, and then we need to place this firmware file on our Zoom H1 micro SD card. So there are a couple ways we could do this. We could take the micro SD card out of the Zoom, put it into an adapter if necessary, plug it into our computer, and simply move that file onto the base directory of our Zoom H1 micro SD card. Another option would be you could connect your Zoom H1 to the computer and use it as a micro SD card reader and throw it onto your card that way. The way we're going to do it is simply take our card out, plug it into the computer, throw our firmware file right on the micro SD card, remove it from our computer, remove it from the adapter, put it back on our Zoom, and now we're ready to install our firmware. So once you have placed the firmware file on your micro SD card and inserted it back into the Zoom, we need to power on the Zoom in a special way. So we'll hold down the play pause button while we power on the unit. Then you will see on screen the version currently used by the unit and the upgrade version that we have on our micro SD card. If the version upgrade shown is the one desired, press the record button to open a command screen, and then press the record button again, and you will go ahead and start your upgrade. Now again, in our case, we don't need to update, but we'll go ahead and go through this anyway. So there we go. If you needed to do the firmware update, it should only take a few minutes to complete, and then the next time you power on your Zoom, you should see the latest firmware right there on the initial startup screen. Again, check that website periodically because, again, they update it every so often. Again, that is the way you upgrade the firmware on your Zoom H1.